Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, I would like to give my sincere thanks to Governor-elect Ms. Aruni for giving this opportunity. It is my great pleasure to introduce Mr. Sanders. Thiru Sayandhan is currently the CEO of Sunshine Healthcare Lanka Limited, which is leading healthcare business in Sri Lanka more than 5 decades. Sayandhan has more than 30 years of multinational experience in pharmaceutical and medical devices. He is currently a doctoral candidate, possessing an MBA, carrying chartered marketeer and practicing marketeer titles. To his credit, he is a fellow of Chartered Institute of Marketing, Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, and Institute of Management of Sri Lanka. During his leisure time, Sanders focused on teaching MBA students and developing people. Over to you, Mr. Thiru Sanders.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. I'll share my screen for the benefit of all so that I can share through my presentation effectively. Trust all of you all can see my presentation. Can someone confirm?
Yes, sir, we can.
Sure. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me here. At the outset itself, I would say, if you take a beggar down the King Street or Dalada Maligawa, from the richest person in Sri Lanka, if I may name them, be it Dilip Jayavira, be it Dhammika Parra, be it Mr. Ishara Nanekara, or could it be the PDG, or it could be the magician Gauri Rajan, something is common for all of us. That is, we all have 24 hours. There's no change of rule, irrespective of the position or the money that you may possess. We all have 24 hours for a day, and we all have something certain in an uncertain environment. We are born and we die. Within that comes our life. Until then, the clock keeps ticking for all of us. And when I was listening to the former speaker, the PDG, I just figured out all of you all have 1 year, especially the newly elected president and the newly elected ExCom. We have 1 year. There was a time I thought that 1 year was so long, but now I realize that 1 year is so short. Why? The clock is ticking and the days go by pretty fast. And sometimes we think I can do 100 things, and then you end up, okay, I can do 50 things. And all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, I could not do that single thing, and the days go by. So this session, I'm sure, will be useful for the newly elected committee where you are ticking on a 1 year. It's like a time bomb. Day goes by, second goes by, month go by, and the year will go by. So one of the things that had helped me personally to achieve these, I'll just take you through tips. And by the way, I'm doing a 2-hour session in half an hour, but I thought that was also a reality. Generally now we had a lot of time, but now we have to squeeze in and do certain things. So first time I'm trying to do it. So pardon me, I'll be going a little fast, but also it helps me to go a little fast because I'm talking to a experienced, qualified, educated, highly respected audience. So I'm sure you're going to grab this fast. So in doing so, this year, I would just give 7 tips which had helped me. I'm not saying it had helped you. It had helped me to achieve things. So first of all, before going in for the time management per se, one of the things which had helped me is for me to have a vision. So here club may have a vision. The organization may have a vision, that vision which drives me what to do, what not to do. And I need to be passionate. I can't be doing things for the former president. I can't be doing things for my parents. I can't be doing things for my boss. I need to be passionate what I need to do. That what drives me whenever every day I wake up, what I should do and what I should not do. So you have to be personally passionate. You need to plan and prioritize. We all have 101 things to do. What to do, what not to do, we need to plan and prioritize, because when I take you through the presentation, there will be a lot of distraction, which you will have to simply throw out of the window, whether we like it or not. We need to change and adapt. Obviously, environment is changing, and COVID had changed big time. I'm sure this program in the past would have been a physical meeting and with a lot of celebration. Today, we are in a Zoom environment, virtually connecting from home. So we have changed and adapted be assured there'll be a lot of changes forced upon by the macro environment and the micro environment. So this is something we need to do. We need to do a lot of sacrifices, because if you have to achieve something, we have to forego. Accountants know there's something called an opportunity cost. So to gain something, we need to sacrifice something. We need to take calculated risk. Will this happen if I do this project? Will that happen or not? Will I be accused by my club? Come on, we need to take calculated risk. And the people who had achieved greater achievement are people who had taken calculated risk. Finally, my mantra for my personal success had been integrity. In school, we may cheat our teachers. In life or in work, we may cheat our bosses. In life, we may cheat some people, but you cannot cheat yourself. So let's be true to ourselves in whatever we do. This integrity is the factor which it also allows. So with that, I'll go through the area that I would like to speak. And I'm sure this is how everybody in the audience, your life will be when you wake up in the morning. 101 things to do. On one side, you have your work pressure, be it your organization or the organization you work for. 101 things to do there. Then comes the family, your spouse, your children, your parents. You have things to do there. And on top of it, you have your club. And you have taken a big role. And now there are commitments. Plus the community, plus the list goes on. So this is how when you wake up, so many things to do. But what are the ones you're going to select? What are the ones you're going to push it out? Because as I said at the outset, you and me, we all have 24 hours at the ICU, grabbing the last breath. You and I don't have a choice. I'll pay you ₹1,000,000. Give me 5 minutes of extra life. That is something certain. So this is one of the survey done in US, where at the deathbed, at the ICU with the ventilator on, this is a statement that most of them have told the matron or the sister at the ICU that nobody ever want to spend more time at their office. And one statement they have made is that I wish I spent with my loved ones or the things that I want to do for the society that I lived in. So that's something to take upon. So to do this, I will take you through 2 key metrics, which you know already. These are not my model. These are given by the first model is by Stephen Covey, where in the first thing first, where he put all our tasks into 4 quadrants. I'll just remind you through, so that will help your life. So we all have urgent and important things. We have not urgent, but important things. And the time killers come 3 and 4. There are things which are urgent, but not at all important. And most of all, there are not urgent, not important things where you and I, we spent a lot of time for a day. So how you spend your time? Again, I'll take you through the Stephen Covey's model. Stephen Covey, when he did this study, he found there are people who perform, people who are high flyers. I'm sure even in your clubs, there are clubs which are high flying clubs. There are clubs which average performance, and you have poor performance. That's the norm. Even in a classroom, a teacher will know you have the high flyer, the medium students, and the low performer. Same with organization. So according to Stephen Covey, an average world or rest of the world or the normal world, this is how they spend time. Meaning 2 to 3% of the time people spend on not urgent, not important things. Sadly, the survey reveals 50 to 60% of the time people spend on urgent, not important. People come urgent, I want it now. But that task is not at all important. And sometimes 50 to 60 means people are spending 12 hours a day on things which come burning, fire burning, urgent, but not at all important. Now you remember why I told to have a vision? When you have a vision, you know whether this task is aligned to my vision or not, whether it's a time killer or not. That's why I took you through those 6 things which were essential for me. Now comes the saddest part. When things are not urgent and when things are important, people are not worried about it. The former speaker said, your year is going to start in July, and whether you like it or not, it's going to end in June. Are we going to wait till December to start things? Are we going to wait for 6 months to go to start things? Or are you going to do now? For those who are doing now, this is not urgent, but it's important. But if somebody had waited till December, oh my God, my list is smart, I have not done anything for the club, let me do something. Then it becomes urgent and it's an important thing as well. And you've got 3 to 6 months left. And last 3 months, you sometimes firefight. And this is where your stress comes in. This is where your pulse rate goes up. This is where people end up in the ICU and you don't complete a clear task. So this is not me. This is how Stephen Covey has classified. And then last, 25 to 30% of the time people spent in urgent, important. These are things which is needed. So if one of you all contact COVID, we will have to attend it urgently. If one of the audience faint now, we have to stop and take the person out to a hospital or somewhere. So we have these tasks, so we need to allocate time there. So this is how the average world or an average performer spend his or her time for a day. So same thing, in the interest of time is limited. I told you as 2 hours, I need to avoid, do it in half an hour. So in short, urgent, important, we need to manage, but our focus now need to shift to not urgent, important things. Whatever I need to do next December, I need to do now. Whatever I need to do when I'm 60, I need to plan now. Then avoid the not important, urgent things which we are used to, and completely avoid the not urgent and not important things as which are distractors. So here I am coming with the same Stephen Covey model, showing you in red how a high performer, the students who come first in class or first 3 in class, high performing organization, high performing clubs, and how high performing individuals, how they spend their time. Now go to the quadrant 2. High performing individual spend 60 to 80% of the time when things are not urgent, but when it's important, versus the average guy spend 15 times. So you need to shift. What are the tasks which are important? Identify them and start spending 12 to 14 hours there. Whereas earlier you would have spent only 3 hours there. So from 3 hours, shift yourselves from 12 hours in not urgent, important. So that's the shift we need. And that's the study says how people have spent their time. And if you take the high performer, he spends only 1% in not urgent, not important things. And here comes the differentiator. When the average person spends 12 hours or 50% of his time in not important, urgent things, the person with a vision, the person who wants to achieve things, the person who is a high flyer, he reduced that time to 15%. He knows this is not important. Though he says urgent, this is not important. So he cut it off to 15%. Okay, you can spend 10% because sometimes your mother asks the non-important things and you can't say no. When the past president asks something, you can't say no. When PDG asks, sometimes you may not ask, but don't spend your 50% of the time, limit it to 15. I'm not saying make it 0, minimize, and increase the time on this. As I mentioned, urgent, important things will remain, will come. So keep that 20 to 25%. It's easily said than done, but the high performer, high flyers, they do what is in red. So in short, firefighting areas will arise for you and me because there are a lot of urgent things which comes in. And what is quality time when important and not urgent? Spend your time there. The urgent and not important tasks are your distractors, and those are the time wasters. Cut it off. I'm sure you got this concept. Next time you have a to-do list, plug this in where which task will allow me. So this is principle 1. If you understand it, if you practice it, you're done, and time 1. Principle 2, I would like to bring yet another, not a rocket science, Wilfredo Pareto. We call it Pareto principles, 80-20. If you understand your 80-20, you are done once again. Pardon me for saying this. Sometimes you may, when you do an evaluation, you may find 20% of your clubs which had done 80% of your activities. If you don't like that statement, let me go to my organization. I have all my SKUs, the products that we sell. I am come from a sales background in the healthcare industry. When I do a calculation, I may have 1,700 SKUs, out of which it's the 200 SKUs which give me 90% of the sales or 80% of the sales. So it's the 20% of the products which give me 80% of the sales. It's the 20% of the efforts which I do, which give me 80% of the results. So in other words, if I apply these principles to a day, it's 4.8 hours what I do, which is 80% of my life. So why am I spending the other 19 hours in unwanted things? So spend your time, spend your effort, spend your money, spend your energy, which are all limited, on things which give you 80% results. Often we are carried away with 80% of the things which give 20% of the results. And that kills 80% of the time, which is more important because time you can never get back. Sometimes 80% of the money and sometimes 80% of the energy. Total waste of time. So, ladies and gentlemen, think again. These are principles which are proven results locally and globally. Think about things which gives you 80% results, 20%. Now see, you have all the time. Once you identify things, what is that 4.8 hours which give me 80% of the results? And if you can do that in 5 hours, you have 18 hours a day. You can sleep that 7 hours. You can spend that 2 hours on meditation or yoga or on yourself, me time, my time. This is why people are getting rid of it at the moment because there are too many things from the time you wake up till you go to the bed and you forget your quality time, but you should spend, which help you emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. So it's important. Now you can club your time for a day. Moment you identify, these are my 6 hours, I'm going to, which will give me high flyer results, and I'm going to spend there. So then you have 7 to 8 hours for rest, sleep, then you have your me time, then you have for recreation. But if you don't club these and if you don't identify, then that's the time, oh God, I wish I had 48 hours a day. But it doesn't happen, be it any God. I don't think however much you pray, any God will not going to give you more than 24 hours. And that's the reality. So identify this. So find out, oops, my slide are stuck. Let me go through. So find out what is your 80-20, which will help you in your life. So as I mentioned, is the 20% of the input, the time, resource, efforts, which give you 80% of the output. I've already mentioned, find that out. So this is a 1 P-letter word which made me a sentence. Every sentence is starting with P. Proper prior preparation prevent poor performance. So any clubs, if you don't want to poor perform, or end of the year, if somebody doesn't want to come and say, you are a poor performing club, the mantra is proper prior preparation prevent poor performance. Start now, start early. This 1 year will go like this. Right. So some of the common tips. So yes, I've already spent 24 minutes. See, while doing, I should keep a tab on my clock. Clock is ticking. I'm given half an hour, whether I like it or not. 11:25. I need to call it a day. Clock is ticking. Sometimes we forget. When we come to the podium, we speak. In our life podium also we do. There are so many things to do. We in our life we spend our time, and oh my God, 50 years gone. Only when you sing the happy birthday, 50th birthday. Oh my God, half the year, 80% of my life is gone. So keep a tap on your time. Be conscious. So that's what I mean, I need to, whether I like it or not, I need to practice what I'm preaching. 11:09, whether I like it or not, 11:25, I like to cut it off. Same way, when the time comes, God's come and cut off your life. Time up, Puta, come up, join me up there. So time gone, time up. So do what you need to do. Same year, whether you like it or not, June 30th, time out. Your club task done. So some of the common tasks, common mistakes, which doesn't allow you to do some of the objectives are failing to keep, what are my objectives, what I need to do. Not setting goals. I said vision. What are the goals? What I should do in which month? Not prioritizing. Hey, prioritize. Think A versus B. A is important. Doing this task, doing this project A versus project B to project C, which is my top priority project. And what are my time-killing projects? So prioritize. Failing to manage distractions. Cut it off. It could be anything. I don't want to mention. There are some visitors who come and kill my time. How do I manage? I get up. So there are so many tips I give how to do, which I'm cutting it off. You can use your experience in the interest of time. But just a simple example, when distraction come, people who come, time wasters come, I get up. So that person can't sit. He moves out of my cubicle in 5 minutes. I do. But if I keep seated, he come and sit. He chats for half an hour, especially if it's a time waster. Time waster telephone calls. I sometimes say, hey, I am driving. Can I call you back? Or sometimes I say, there are cops on the road. I am driving. I can't call you back. And that call never come back. So was that an important call? If it's urgent that the call should come in 10 minutes again, sometimes that call never comes. So manage distraction. Procrastination. Procrastination is the world #1 killer for poor performance. And only in one instance, it had helped. If somebody is attempting suicide, that's the only time they say to practice procrastination. Because when you procrastinate, hey, I'm not going to suicide now, let me try tomorrow. Yes, that's the only time procrastination helps you. Other than that, don't procrastinate. Signature, some say I'm busy, come tomorrow, come later, come day after. Even an email, you can write that yes or no now, but you procrastinate. No, let me think and come back. Hey, how long you're thinking? How many Excel sheet are you analyzing? Say yes or no, move on. Don't procrastinate. Taking too much. Don't do too much of analysis. Don't think, let me do this, let me do that. Come on, move on. Sometimes some people wait for 100% of the information to take decision. We don't have the time. We have 1 year. With gut feeling, with 80% of the information available, with your hunch, with your committee, take those decisions. One of the problems is we are unable to take quick decision, take sound decision, take calculated risk. These are some of the points I told earlier. So you can move on and you save time on those. Because some people, when you can't take decision, the time flies. And some people say busy, 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 everything busy. I always tell the person who manages the time very well will never use the word busy. It's the people who can't manage their time say busy. For me, when somebody say he's busy, the take for me is I am not his priority. When he says he's busy, I am not his priority now, or what I'm taking now is not his priority. So that's the message. So keep that in mind. Multitasking, we all supposed to need multitask. Manage your task. Not taking breaks, it's very important. You need to take break. From the time you wake up till you sleep, you can't go like a machine. We are not robotics. Our brain cells need rest. And our brain cells need oxygen. So people who stuck up their nose and mouth with 2 masks and without oxygen, I say, come on, your brain cells are going to die. At least COVID, you will come out of the hospital in 14 days. For God's sake, take more oxygen and don't kill your brain cells. So you need to take breaks. You need to have your exercises. You need to do your yoga. You need to have your mental relaxation, as I tell. You need to have your me time, quality time with yourself. Quality time with your family, quality time with your executive committee. So take that break. And I heard the former speaker said, have fun meetings, have outings, have family meetings. Those are for that. Ineffectively scheduling tasks, please have your calendar. So I'll go fast on that since you are an expert. So in the next 10 minutes, I'll quickly run through some of the tips. If one of those tips can help you, please take it. Otherwise, leave it. Because these are tips which I have told my team members, my student, and at least one tip had helped one or the other. So I'll just run through the list in the interest of time, which you can take 1 or 2. If you can pick 1 or 2, it will help you. So create a daily plan, peg a time for each task. Sometimes we do multiple things. While driving, we have our breakfast, telephone call, wife on one side, child on one side, we have to comb the hair, and on top of it, we have to answer the boss. I don't know which one you're doing, but there are multitasks. We have no choice. Peg a time for each task. Use a calendar effectively. Be conscious the time is ticking. Use an organizer. Know your deadline. In this case, for clubs, June 30th is deadline. Whether we like it or not, paste that red tape on June 30th. Year gone. Are you ready to put that red tape when your life is going to end? Be conscious from today. One day there'll be a red tape on your life. Match over. Life gone. So do the purpose of life, what you need to live. Do it now. If you had to go and kiss your wife or kiss your daughter, son, do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. So be conscious of that. So know your deadlines. Learn to say no. A lot of people find this difficult. Oh, he's my relative. He's my boss. He's my BDG. He's my magician, Gauri. How can I say no? Learn to say no. Instead of saying yes, yes, yes for everything. And when you don't do, you lose your credibility. But if you are a person, if you can't do, if you say no, at least that person's no. If you say yes, you will do it. And if you say no, you are not a person who will do it. So by that, you build credibility. I have built I know I'm not popular at all. Otherwise, I would have run for presidency. I am a very unpopular person because bluntly, whatever I say no, I say no. And there are instances subtly also you can say no. As I said, the telephone call come, I say, I'm over a meeting at the moment, let me call you back. Subtle no. Or if Gauri asks, can you speak on this day? I'll say, sorry, Gauri, I have the board meeting, I cannot do it. Can you do it on a Saturday? Yes. And if you say yes, for God's sake, do it. So learn to say no. Target to be early. This session was 10:40. I joined at 10:30. I don't want to join at 10:40, then the Zoom is not working, Wi-Fi is not connecting, power cut, all these problems. Example. So target to be early. Wake up early. Start early. June is going to end. Tick box your activity. Always be conscious. The clock is ticking and be aware of that. And also set 15 minutes reminder. If the meeting has 11:30, don't start at 11:30. Plan from 11:15. If your presentation is at 12, start at 11:45. Don't come at 12 and then struggle. Those are little tips. Let me move on. Focus. Whatever you do, focus. We have a lot of things to do. Block the distraction. I have mentioned that. Track the time spent, how you are spending. Are you spending your valuable time on the not urgent important things? Start tracking it. Find out what is important. Is your education of your daughter important, or watching that movie is important? Is it spending time at family and working is important, or going for that evening, drinks is important? Set it out. But at that time, you may maybe camouflage or mesmerize with something which is not important, which kills our time, but start tracking your time. Don't be fussed about unimportant details. Don't ask for that 100% detail, which you'll never get. Prioritize, delegate. Whatever your club, other members can do, the president need to do himself. Or even at home, if father and mother both are going to work, everything need not be done by the mother. If the water bottle can be filled by the little daughter, let her fill it. Delegate the task. If you are the boss, you need not do everything because you have 24 hours. Delegate the task, but be responsible. Monitor them. Follow progress, but you need to do. So delegate. Batch similar tasks together. A good example is if you are going to Candy now, whatever you have to do at Trincomalee Street, do it at once. Whatever you have to do in the other supermarket, don't just fluctuate. So sometimes we go between projects here and there. So batch similar tasks together. Eliminate time wasters. Cut off when you need to. When you have to cut off, cut it off. Leave buffer time in between. So between your meetings, between your tasks, leave buffer time. So if you have to arrive at something, so if you have a meeting in Colombo and I'm coming from Kandy, if the travel time is 3 hours, don't just plan 3 hours, plan for 4 hours. Why? Traffic on the road, stickers in between provinces, checking in between, floods in between, tire puncture, something can happen. Something can happen. So keep that extra buffer, which take you away from stress. Prepare in advance, schedule your time. Easily said than done. If you're a person who wake up at 6 o'clock, can you wake up at 5:30? But to do that, you have to sleep early. You got to sleep at 10. So if you wake up early, you can do 100 things. The average world wakes up at 6:30 to 7. If you want to be a high flyer, if you want to be a performer, start waking half an hour, 1 hour early, and just see the extra things that you can do compared to rest of the world. If you have to study, wake up early. Easily said than done. But if you are a person partying till night or looking at the Facebook and the Instagram till 12 o'clock midnight, you can't wake up. You're mentally tired, you're physically tired, and you keep on pressing that snooze button and you can't wake up. So you've got to have discipline. 11 o'clock, cut your mobile off. 10:30, cut your mobile off. Put it aside, go to bed, and then wake up. Then if you wake up, yes, you can do so many things which rest of the things can't do. Be organized. Even in a computer, organize your thing. Put folders. I see some people looking for the other pair of the sock early morning and spend 20 minutes. There are some people who search for their car keys. Some people search for their wallet. Some people search for their credit card. Come on, keep them in one place for rest of your life, so you need not waste your time. So even when you go into your computer, your C drive, or where you keep your documents, put them in one place. It helps you to save time. Even my drawer, I have kept compartments. So I know this is where my key, this is where my red pen, this is my blue pen, this is where my highlighter. It's make my life easy. Take tasks where you can do. So for example, if you want to read, you can take it to the airplane, you can read it at the airport. There are things that you can do while traveling. So club your tasks. So record all your thoughts, do all what is important. Spend 50% of your time, which is not important and urgent. I have told this. And schedule also time for interruptions, especially the things which are important and urgent. I'm sure there'll be always a firefighting. There are always an urgent thing you have to do. There's always a situation where your mother or father need to be taken to doctor, or you might have to spend time in the hospital. So always keep 25% of the time there. Then to move on, take 5 minutes plan before each activity. I have mentioned this. Have do not disturb sign or act it off. Show that you're in task and you are in control of how you are doing. Block out distractions and remember that it's impossible to do everything. You can't do everything. So ladies and gentlemen, I told I'll finish at 11:25. My time management is 11:21. I should learn to finish early as well. So even that 3 minutes buffer, I'll leave to you. So my message for everyone is, when you leave the club or when you leave your life, I urge everyone to live, to love, to learn, and then leave a legacy. When you leave the club as a president, rest of the members should say, hey, that president did this for us. When you leave Rotary, they should say, hey, this person did this for Sri Lanka. Same way, when we leave our life and say goodbye, and when we hit 6th ground under, or when we get into this amount of ashes, people should say, hey, he's a great person. He did this for us. So with that thought, let me wish you all the very best for the incoming committee, for rest of you all, and all the very best.